Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And for this one, we're back in the PEP e-news. I did one a little while ago, and I figured, yeah, time to do another. So for this one, this is most definitely a route that the old PEP units would do. So we're on the East Coast Main Line, the London-Peterborough section, and we are starting at Stevenage and making our way to London King's Cross. I think this is probably about as far out from London as these ones would run. I mean, they might have gone a bit further. I'm really not sure, but it's unlikely. I think that they would. They certainly wouldn't have gone as far as Peterborough. I wouldn't have thought. So yeah, they wouldn't have done the full length of this particular DLC. So I think, yeah, starting at Stevenage is a decent starting point. And we will, of course, be stopping at all stations. So our train is a class 315, which I believe was the fifth and final PEP type to actually enter service. Don't quote me on it, but I think that was the case. So it's a 4-car train. 315s are always like 4 or 8. As we are running very much off peak, yeah, we are going to be in a 4-car. And for the specifics, yep, it's autumn, it's cloudy, and it's 11:30 AM. So that's the setup. Oh yeah, just to also add, yeah, we're in British Rail blue and grey livery. Well, our 315 train is. So anyway, that is the setup. Let's get this up and running. And here we are. Right, now one thing I will point out, and this applies to all of the PEP locos. Yes, they are by Armstrong Powerhouse, but specifically they were actually coded by a lot who call themselves Waggonz with a Z on the end. So yeah, you can imagine what I think of that name. And for reasons that only they themselves know, and I cannot think of a single reason why they do this. They change all the controls so it's completely different to any of the others. We've got, like, you know, standard keybinds for pretty much everything, and then this lot come along and change so many of them. And you know, I like it when a loco is challenging, but I like it when it's challenging for reasons that make sense, not because all the keys have been changed and it's now something pretty ridiculous, which, like I say, all of the PEPs are. So let's hope we can get somewhere with this. So we are set up there. We now need to change the lights. Okay, yeah, we are pretty good. It looks like the brakes are terrible. We seem to be rolling forward. Very slowly, but it did really look like we are rolling forward. Anyway, here is our 315 at Stevenage station. Let's open the doors. Yeah, for some reason the front doors won't open here, but I mean, look, plenty of space, absolutely no problem. So the key binding to open the doors is the same as it always is, but the key binding to close it, no, that isn't. I'm not even sure what the key binding is, but I do know it's not the T key that you use for opening them. So I have to use, yeah, this option here. So I'll be told, there you go, I may now close the doors. There you go. And then if we take a look outside, you'll see, yeah, doors are all closing. So take a look around. This is Stevenage, so we are right on the East Coast Main Line here. But I think we are all set. Lighting is done. I've not bothered setting up the old radio thing here, but at some point it will be necessary if you're using one of these in a well, any kind of scenario, because this is another thing that Waggonz have done in their infinite wisdom. The standard process of getting through you know, or asking for permission to get through a red signal, yeah, in this doesn't work at all. You've got to do it through the radio here. Why change it to that? And it is only the 314 and 315s that you have to do that with. The 313s, no, just do the usual sort of thing. So yeah, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Anyway, we can turn DRA off and we can get underway. So King's Cross is not that far away, 27.42 miles. Yeah, not a problem. Let's open our side window. So top speed, yeah, is 75 mph. I believe all of the PEP locos had that as their top speed. They weren't going to be going any faster than that. So yeah, you can see the lighting is A-OK. It'd be great if we do get a trackside view. But we haven't this time. We'll try again a bit later. So I can't remember what our next stop is, but yeah, I was just about to say it is quite close. Oh yeah, Nebworth. So our acceleration, yeah, does drop off quite a bit actually once we reach sort of mid-50s. But again, the PEP locos were not about, you know, long distance intercity runs. They were there as, you know, commuter services. So having the decent acceleration from, you know, 0 to say 55, yeah, makes sense, because on a lot of those commuter runs, this is quite a long distance one by you know, commuter run standards. But on most commuter runs, yeah, you might get up to 60 mph, but you're unlikely to go beyond that. So it really didn't need to be going certainly no faster than 75, and its acceleration, yeah, having it accelerating well up to 55 makes sense, but beyond that it's again not really needed. And we have come in a bit fast, so we're having to put it onto full service braking a lot sooner than I really wanted to. I think we might still overshoot very, very slightly, or we might be pretty much perfect. So yeah, there we go, all doors opened. Yeah, it was never in doubt, was it? So this is Nebworth, home of the music festival. I have no idea. I can't imagine there are too many places called Nebworth, so I think I have to be in this view to be told that yeah, I can now close the doors. So they should now be closing, and they are. Okay, let's set off. The next stop is Welling North, and rather unsurprisingly it's pretty much right on the doorstep of Welling Garden City, so those two stops are pretty much together. I think we got a reasonable sized gap before we reach Welling North. So we're about to enter 70 MP8 zone. That is fine. There we are, that is the 70 zone we are now in. And here comes Welling North, so in fact it's not as far away as I thought it would be. And yet we do have the alert for the points coming up. So we are now in a 125 zone, although it has now just come down to 115. But yeah, we're going to need to start slowing at some point to approach Welling North Station. There's a 700 that we just passed there. Oh, amazing that I could even see it in that tunnel. Right, we've really got to start braking heavy now. Completely missed the yeah, that's okay. We'll take it down to step 1, but even there we're still coming in, we're still braking rather quickly. And I think this is a station that's actually somewhat shorter than your first impressions have you believing. There we are, that doesn't look too shabby at all. So this is Welling North. It does look nice. So wait for the notification that all is done. There we are. So wait for the doors to shut. There they go. And away we go. So next stop then, yeah, is Welwyn Garden City. If we were doing high-speed intercity runs, Welwyn Garden City marks the end of the 125 mph zones. There are certainly no more after there. We are wheel spinning like, yeah, wheel slipping like mad. I took it into notch 4 far too quickly. So we have the solid yellow. We go over this rather sizable viaduct that I can't remember the name of. I'm sure some of you out there know what it is. Even though this was, yeah, if I'm right anyway about, I'm sure that's what it said when I was reading about it, as we pass a 365. But yeah, this was the final one of the PEP emus to come into service. It's also comparatively simple, certainly compared to the 313. For starters, it doesn't have the dual mode function. This is 25 kilovolt AC overhead electrification only. 314 is the same. The 313 is the only PEP loco that did actually have dual mode electrical power support. The other two PEPs, which were the 507 and 508, they were third rail DC only. But they only ran sort of around Merseyside way. So I'm thinking they might have actually been 650 volt DC instead of the 750 volt DC that the southern region used. So yeah, doors are open, that is fine. So this is Welwyn Garden City station. Now of course, as far as this game is concerned, all third rail DC is the same. I say that because I do have the class 507 and 508 for this simulator, and I can use that on the southern region absolutely fine, which is a good job because yeah, the Merseyside area isn't currently available for the game. So yeah, that is fine. Or at least the Merseyside third rail area is not available for the game, as far as I'm aware. Right, onwards. And this time I'm not going to put it into notch 4 quite so quickly because, yeah, we had wheel slip galore when I did that last time. Yeah, we're fine now. So we're on the slow line here, so we are, well, yeah, we are limited to 75 mph, but it's the top speed of this thing, so yeah, not a problem. We don't need to be on the fast lane. I think that line to our right that was going off there. I think that might be the line that takes you out towards Cambridge and eventually King's Lynn. It's a line I would really like to have, and it is available. Unfortunately, it's only available from ATS. Can't have everything. So Hatfield is our next stop. Not Welling Hatfield, I'm sure it was called Welling Hatfield. That's still only the overhead views. Don't need to start braking yet. Far too soon to do that. Okay, now I think we can. Yeah, the slow lines here, station platforms don't start until the faster line platforms have already been and gone. If you just slightly overshot where the 4-car trains are supposed to stop. Nevertheless, here we are. So this is Welling Hatfield. Well, it's Hatfield. Whether or not it is Welling Hatfield, yeah, I've no idea about that one. We can now close. There we go. Yeah, we're fine at notch 4 here. So next stop is actually pretty pretty soon upon us. So Welham Green. I mean, it almost sounds like it's a London commuter stop, but I don't think we've got as far as London yet. I think yeah, we still got a few miles to go before we get there. But the uphill gradient it's not actually going to affect us too much, even though, yeah, this train is comparatively light, so it could affect us, but yeah, I'd be very surprised. we had another 365 that's passed us there. Of course, that's one loco that has not appeared in any of my videos yet. It being a networker means I'm not that sorry that it hasn't appeared in any of our videos yet. I'm not a fan of the networker series, as I think I've well and truly established by now. This is quite a small station here. Right, there we go, we're on. So yeah, well and green. It sounds like there's some building work going by or going on somewhere nearby. Can't quite see where, but you can certainly hear it. There's the notification. There we go. So onwards, the next stop is, yeah, certainly quite close by. I have a feeling we're going to now have a pretty good number of yeah, these stations that are all like quite close to each other. So yeah, Waggonz Park, less than a mile away already. So we're entering a 55 mph zone just as we approach the station. That's not a problem. And max speed does go back up to 75 not long after we leave the station as well. I'm pretty sure we will not be able to get to 75 mph before we enter that 75 zone anyway, so yeah, we can treat both of those speed limit changes as if they're not there. So there's another pretty short station here. I think I might slightly overshoot it. Yeah, I have. That wasn't a good stop, to put it mildly. So yeah, front unit certainly wouldn't open. Although, I mean, that one absolutely could have done. Yeah, I can understand why this door hasn't, but that one could have. Anyway, Waggonz Park. Right. Can close the doors. There they go. So onwards to whatever is next, I am not sure. I think we're still too far away for it to be Alexandra Palace, but I know that is one North London station that we do stop at on this line. So yeah, entering the 75 zone, and now we're in it, and we weren't even doing 40, so yeah, like I said, we can treat that as if that speed limit change wasn't even there. So Potter's Bar is next. Well, that is definitely North London, so we got coming here, looks like another 700. It is. Even though I'm only on step 1 braking, I do feel like, again, I've started braking a bit too early. See, it may not be too bad. Okay, yeah, it was a bit early then. There you go. Yeah, it's very quiet when we're at the stations. It's so quiet that we can actually hear the passengers who are waiting on the platform coughing. Yeah, unfortunately we don't have a passenger view, passenger cabin view. So, oh well. Right, close the doors. There they go. Okay, onwards to the next one. I do have a feeling the next one could well be Alexandra Palace. Of course, we're only a week away from the darts rolling up at the Alley Pally. I felt sure I could open those windows as well as the one next to us. Okay, so Hadley Wood is the next stop. So once again, powers of prediction as spot on as always. So 65 limit as we enter the tunnel. That's fine. We're nowhere near that speed. And pretty much as soon as we leave the tunnel, it'll be back up to being able to do 75. So that's it. So we made it out of there. And now we are back in the 75 zone. So it's now just approaching Hanley Wood. I probably need to start braking a bit harder than usual. Not overly keen on the stations that are right next to tunnels. And Hadley Wood has tunnels like right either side of it. Not as bad as what's the one on the 1066 line? I think it's Tunbridge Wells. The station platforms are effectively right between the tunnels at either end. So, yep, doors are fine. So, yeah, here we are at Hadley Wood. Again, doesn't look too bad. There we go. Shut those. Can actually hear the alarm as the doors were closing that time. Okay, let's head off. So King's Cross is now less than 10.5 miles away, so I might stick my neck out and actually predict that the next station will be... We're getting wheel slip then again. But yeah, could the next station actually be Alexandra Palace? I mean, at least this thing has pretty good wheel slip protection, so if I was getting wheel slip, which I was just then, it's not going to appear as a wheel slip error. Once again, powers of prediction. No, it's not Ali Pally, it's New Barnet, and then we have Oakley after that. Oakley Park, I should say. So yeah, once again, absolutely nowhere near the... I'm also nowhere near the breaking point yet. It's yeah, nowhere near accurate as far as the predictions of where the stations are. Now these two stations, I think there's barely half a mile between the two of them. Actually, yeah, okay, there's a little bit, just over half a mile between the two. We're really not going to be getting up to speed too much on the approach to Oakley Park. Yeah, I was instead of getting wheel slip there, I was getting the opposite thing, where it is wheel slide or whatever it's called. So, yeah, not doing too great on the old acceleration and deceleration in this thing. Anyway, this is New Barnet. It's taking a while for the notification to come up. Unless I missed it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Anyway, it's taking a long old while, so let's close the doors. Here we are. Right, off we go. Yeah, so no wheel slip this time. So onwards to Oakley Park. I think we can get a bit closer than the usual half mile before I start braking. We don't have time to get us up to a really high speed. Still braked too early. Yeah, still get the old slide whenever I put it into full service. Not that surprising really, but there we go. So, yep, Oakley Park right here. Looks like a very old style station, even though it is, well, I assume it's still in use today. So just waiting for, there we go, right, we've got the notification there. Let's there we are. So, onwards. Now, I've predicted that Alexandra Palace is going to be the next station twice, and I was nowhere near it, so I'm not even going to bother with any predictions this time. We'll just see what shows up. So we have a speed reduction coming up that takes us down to 70. I suspect that's a permanent one. And we are 8 miles from King's Cross, so yeah, I'd be very surprised if our max speed did increase again at any point. So it's New Southgate is the next stop. I don't think I need to take us down, or take us up to step 2 yet. We are going downhill on a downhill gradient. It is only 1 in 200, but it could still be enough, so I have a feeling we could be sliding a bit if I put it into full service again, which I almost certainly will need to anyway. Coming very slowly here. We didn't need full service brakes. So here we are then at New Southgate. Yeah, not a particularly memorable station. We'll just wait for the usual notification to come up. There it is. Right, now I did spot earlier, this next stop is Alexandra Palace. So we are approaching a 60 mph zone. We pass another 365. So I think the 60 zone starts as we leave this tunnel. It's not a particularly long one. We are again going downhill, 1 in 200 again. So yeah, there we are, out of the tunnel and into the 60 zone. We're now on a 1 in 81 downhill. Thankfully it didn't stay that steep for long. Oh, accidentally put it in emergency there, but yeah, took it out before it actually had the chance to trigger. So here we are at Alexandra Palace, and we can't go. You can just about see in the distance there the Ali Pali transmitter. We'll take another look at that as we're pulling out of the station. Just wait for the notification. There we are. I'm going to try the alternative Nope, the alternative keyboard method did not work. So, alright. If we drive out from here using this view, we'll be able to hopefully get a decent view. Yeah, you can just see the Alexandra Palace there. So there she is. I don't know if that hill is Muswell Hill, but yeah, I know this is the Muswell Hill area. So yeah, another 365 over on the left hand side. So it seems all the trains we've passed have been 365s and 700s. So Hornsey, the station we are pulling into here, which is very soon followed by Haringey. Fairly sure this is quite a small station here at Hornsey. Yeah, it is. We have managed to get the whole train on here, so that's something. So, yep, and again, so we have a 365 there and a 700 right next to it. So yeah, it's all 365s and 700s around here. So we'll wait for the usual notification. Alright. So Haringey is next, and yeah, that really isn't very far away at all. There you go. Just barely over half a mile. Looks like we've got 319 out in the sidings there. So we do have another train in the area. Yeah, that is a 319. I think that's the old First Capital Connect livery. Well, did I say, yeah, the old livery, and yet here I am in a 315 with, you know, in British Royal Blue. So, yeah, I can't really say anything else is particularly old compared to this thing. Well, to be honest, I would much rather be driving this than either a 365 or a 319. This is not a very small station, really needs the brakes to do the business here. I think we are, yeah, we have overshot it slightly. It was only slightly though, but I suspect it will be enough. Oh no, our doors did open as well, bloody hell. So yeah, this is Haringey. We're very close to the end now. That's what we're waiting for. Right, doors shut. Now we've got one more station, I think it's Finsbury Park, and then after that I think that's it. No more until King's Cross itself. There we are, it is Finsbury Park. It's a fair sized station, is Finsbury Park. There you go. So, yeah, Finsbury Park Station, proper old school London railway station, this one. So, yeah, just wait for the notification as always. There we are. Doors are closed. Off we go for the final stretch. So max speed decreases to 45 fairly soon. So yeah, let's stay at 45 for now. Yeah, we have yeah, quite a steep downhill section here, one in 107. And then it goes uphill for a bit, again quite steeply, and then downhill again. So we're now on a 1 in 45 uphill. and now we're heading downhill 1 in 50. So yeah, the final approach to King's Cross is quite the obstacle course. So it's 1 in 60 at the moment, and it stays on 1 in 60 for a fair old bit. And then we've got to get our speed down to 15. So, double yellow, that's fine. So again, downhill, 1 in 107. So there we are, we're in the 15 zone. The ground is now levelled out. Platform 11 goes right over to this side. It kind of suggests that there's only 11 platforms at King's Cross, and believe me, there are far more than 11 of them. Okay, well, there's going to be a big old gap between us and the buffers, but that's not a problem. So there we are. That was Stevenage to London King's Cross in the old Class 315. Yeah, it's a good run, and the 315. It could be better. So I'm not keen on the way Waggonz decided to make the controls completely different to standard. I mean, not all of them. Most of them are the same, but the ones that they have changed just always leaves you mystified as to why they did that. There was really no point. And the big one being that, yeah, the key to open the doors is the standard key, T. But the key to close the doors is something else, and I have no idea what it is. I'm going to have to do the old RTFM again, but yeah, if you press T again, no, it doesn't work. I also found out it's not Shift and T, it might be Control and T then, yeah. But yeah, certainly not what I was expecting it to be, so I had to keep going into the cab and doing it that way. Anyway, let's see how we did, because I have a feeling I did pretty good on that run. Well, here we are. There you go. Completely clear run. No operational errors of any kind. Now that is a result. So there we go. Yes, the Class 315. Certainly got no complaints about it, despite the yeah, the keyboard issues. And yeah, it's great having another one of the PEP emus. I'm pretty sure that you know, one of the other three that are still yet to appear probably will be coming along relatively soon. Nevertheless, that is that video done, and we will see you at the next one.